Hello there guys, and welcome back to my channel for finally the official announcement live stream by myself, as Chelsea have officially properly appointed and announced Thomas Tuchel as our new first team head coach. And here we bloody are. Yesterday was a sad day. Of course, every Chelsea fan took the news slightly differently, but yesterday was extremely disappointing. None of us wanted to see Frank Lampard leave the way he did. But that is in the past now, and we have to look forward. And now we've appointed, and in my opinion, extremely exciting manager that does bring some problems with him. You know, let's not hide those things. But he is an extremely exciting manager, and that's what I'm here to talk about today. Lewis will join us in just a little bit. I think he's streaming on it for a little while on his own channel, but after that he will come over here. So be sure to tune in. You know, if you're here already, massive thank you to all of you guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the like button, and let's talk about Thomas Tuchel. Why don't you? Why don't we, rather? Let me get, first and foremost, the comments by Chelsea up. Let me get the comments by Chelsea up, what they said. Let me just read it out to you guys. And like I said, everybody that's here, I really do appreciate it. Massively appreciate it. Like I said, subscribe, smash the like button, and all of the good stuff. And what Chelsea posted on their website, and of course on Twitter and everywhere else as well, they just titled it, Tuchel joins Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel has been appointed as the new Chelsea head coach. He moves to Stamford Bridge following a 2.5-year spell at French champions Paris Saint-Germain, which came to an end last month when he was, of course, sacked by them. He will be the first German to manage Chelsea, and the Rives having guided PSG to 4 major honors and the Champions League final during his time in the French capital. Prior to that, he spent 7 seasons coaching in the Bundesliga, first with Mainz, where he led them to the Europa League, and then a successful period with Borussia Dortmund, where he won the German Cup. At Chelsea, he will be reunited with Christian Pulisic and Thiago Silva, who he coached during his spells in Dortmund and Paris, respectively. Tuchel has signed an 18-month contract with the possibility of an extension, said, "I would like to thank Chelsea FC for their confidence in me and my staff. We all have the greatest respect for Frank Lampard's work and the legacy he created at Chelsea. At the same time, I cannot wait to meet my new team and compete in the most exciting league in football. I'm grateful to now be part of the Chelsea family. It feels amazing." Director Marino Granovskaya added, "It is never easy to change head coach in the middle of the season, but we are happy to secure one of Europe's best coaches in Thomas Tuchel. There is still much to play for and much to achieve this season and beyond. We welcome Thomas to the club." Tuchel will take his first training session this evening and will be in the dugout for tomorrow's Premier League game against Wolves. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Thomas Tuchel. Thomas bloody Tuchel. First of all, guys, you know, of course, if you have anything to say in the chat, because there hopefully will be more and more people joining the stream. Of course, use the super chat function. Don't hesitate to do that. Just because I won't be able to get to every single to every single chat message, everything. And I will get to everything. Johnson just said he doesn't even know his tactics of playing, and I will tell you all bloody about it. Now, first of all, Thomas Tuchel, if I'm not mistaken, is 47 years of age. As the report by Chelsea did already state, he started his career in the Bundesliga. He was actually a professional footballer himself, but never managed to play at the very highest level. The highest he got to was, I think, playing in the second Bundesliga, and then at the age of 24, a very bad knee injury actually forced him to retire at an extremely young age, which is why he managed to get into coaching at such a young age. He was actually then taught by Ralf Rangnick at Stuttgart, if I'm not mistaken, but Stuttgart Kickers, not VfB Stuttgart. But so he was taught, you know, he's one of these modern German coaches, the likes of Klopp, the likes of Nagelsmann, the likes of Tuchel, the likes, to some extent, I guess, Hansi Flick from Bayern Munich. These are all kind of the same kind of realm. They are all the same, similar coaches with similar ideas, which is extremely exciting. But anyways, he then worked in, you know, youth setups for many years, including at Mainz, who at the time were a newly promoted Bundesliga side. And then even though they just got promoted, they lost their first game of the season, which was the German Cup, against the lower league opposition, and Mainz somehow sacked the manager that got them promoted before the first Bundesliga game of the season was ever played. And they went on to appoint Thomas Tuchel at just 34 years of age, having never managed any senior club ever, and not even having, you know, played at the highest level as a footballer himself. They appointed him, and in the next couple of years, he took them to not only finish 9th in his first season and 5th in his second season with the lowest budget in the entire Bundesliga, but also made his name widely known as one of the most tactically astute managers in the entire world, playing something like 6 different formations in one game at times. He's absolutely crazy. In Germany, they title him the football professor, simply because the way he looks at football is very different to most other people. There's very few people like him. There is people like him, maybe someone like Pep Guardiola. They get on very well, by the way. They are good friends, actually. And then, of course, if you don't know, Jurgen Klopp, before he joined Borussia Dortmund, which was, of course, before Liverpool, also came from Mainz. And so Tuchel was kind of a couple of years after the successor of Jurgen Klopp. And then Jurgen Klopp actually kind of tried to make Dortmund get Thomas Tuchel as his replacement at Dortmund. So that happened. And he was there for a little while as well. And did some crazy things too. Of course, Jurgen Klopp won the Bundesliga twice with Dortmund. But that was in a time when Bayern Munich were really poor. Were really, really poor in comparison to their usual standards. Because actually, Thomas Tuchel, both at Mainz and at Dortmund, had a significantly higher points per game average than Jurgen Klopp ever did. And he took Dortmund very, very close to challenging Bayern Munich, Pep Guardiola's Bayern Munich, no less, for the Bundesliga title. He did end up winning the German Cup as well with, I think, a crazy 4-3 semi-final victory over Pep Guardiola's Bayern. So that was incredibly impressive, if you ask me. Or was it Pep's Bayern? I'm pretty sure it was, you know. So that was very good. He then left there because things went sour, and I will touch on his negatives as well. I will touch on that later. Don't worry, I will touch on it. Honestly, I promise you. He then ended up going to PSG. And no word of a lie, has the best points per game record there as well of any manager. He has a win rate of nearly 75%, which is crazy. And this is in all competitions. Yes, I know people say the French league is a farmers league, and this welcome and this welcome. You know, and this crap. You know, it's not a farmers league, and even if it is a farmers league, the Champions League ain't a farmers league, and the man made it into the Champions League final for the first time in PSG's history, which of course is a big deal, is an incredibly big deal. Of course, they lost to Bayern in the end, even though they were arguably the better side and only lost 1-0. And if remember Chelsea playing Bayern Munich last season, remember how they absolutely annihilated us. Of course, PSG had to some extent a better squad than us. But still, to take them in the final, to take them as close as probably any team did last season, in any game pretty much, to take them and just about only lose 1-0 is crazy, especially with a team where barely any of the players had ever been in and around the upper echelons of the Champions League group, the Champions League knockout stages. So that is incredibly impressive, incredibly impressive. I will talk through the kind of formations that he plays. I will talk through the kind of tactics that he uses. Again, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to smash the like button right now. And you know, what else can I say? What else can I say? I can say a lot of things because there are a lot of other things to talk about. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So, tactically. Now, during his time at Dortmund, during his couple of years spells at Dortmund, he used no less than 7 different formations in at least 5 games. 7 different formations in at least 5 games. So, tactically, very inept. Very capable of adapting to his opposition, very capable of adapting to his team, to which players are fit, which players are in form. Incredibly very good at that. He did evolve a little bit, though, when he went to PSG. More often than not, using a 4-3-3 or 4-2-2 formation, whether you want to call that a 4-2-4 or a 4-4-2, it's kind of along the same lines. I know 4-2-2 sounds like it's just FIFA, but essentially that's kind of what it was rather than a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-4 in all honesty. But that's not it. He didn't just stick to those 2 formations. He might have always started with one of those 2, almost always started with one of those 2. But during games, the amount of changes that Thomas Tuchel pulls off tactically is crazy. He goes to a 3 at the back system. He goes to a 5 at the back system. He has his winger Neymar drop deep and almost create a front 2 with the right winger and the striker. He has this crazy system of a centre-back dropping, one of the DMs dropping deep, sometimes even 2 DMs dropping deep because the wingers come deep too. And then he plays as incredible high press intensity kind of football, which, yes, sometimes can leave you exposed because he's very aggressive on it. But he said in an interview as well, when you lose the ball, the first 5 to 7 seconds, you have to go all guns blazing, all out crazy to get the ball back. You know, similar to how, for example, Jurgen Klopp always handled this football, to how some of the best managers in the entire world handle their football. And that's how it goes. That's how it is. And in my opinion, it's absolutely remarkable. In my opinion, it is absolutely remarkable to play that way. He also makes sure there is always a good triangle to play with, a lovely triangle to play with, to pass your way out, to get your way out of any sort of situation that you could possibly be in. But the thing is, he doesn't just score one way. Yes, most of his attacks actually come down the middle, which us Chelsea fans were craving for all season, especially with the squad and the type of players we have. but he attacks from the left. He attacks from the right. He scores from crosses. He scores from set pieces. He doesn't concede many from set pieces. He is such a control freak in terms of football, such a professor of football. The guy knows everything. The guy was kind of looked at before we had Chelsea appointed Antonio Conte in summer of 2017. We actually were looking at, or was it 16? Yeah, 16, in summer of 2016. Was it after? I can't remember. Either it was 2018 when he first tried, or it was 2016. One of the two. Once we were looking at him already, and he turned up knowing all of our academy players. The guy comes prepared. The guy nothing happens with luck for Thomas bloody Tuchel. Nothing happens with luck for him. He knows what he's doing. He absolutely knows what he's doing. And there are a couple of things about him that have to be mentioned as well. First of all, he is a very direct guy. If he doesn't like something, he'll bloody tell you about it. He will bloody tell you about it. Whether you're his boss, whether you're his player, whether you're a journalist, or even if you're a bloody fan. If he don't like what you're saying, he will tell you. And that's what's kind of been his issue at a few of the clubs. I'm not going to go too deep into what happened at Mainz, but at Borussia Dortmund, he just fell out with the wrong people in the hierarchy. But all of his falling outs with certain players made a lot of sense. You know, Dortmund sold all of their best players and didn't give him any replacements, but expected similar results. How is that going to work? He goes to PSG and similar things happen. They sell players. They sell all of these youngsters that he made good. They sell him for like 10, 15 million a pop. And he has to kind of start from scratch with developing young players and hasn't got any replacements. I mean, look at PSG went to a Champions League final and the left backs were Juan Bernat, who Bayern deemed not anywhere near good enough for them, bloody Kurzawa, who's not even good enough for the French league. They didn't even sign Florenzi at that point. The right back were Meunier, who isn't even that good either, and a centre-back, a young centre-back that Thomas Tuchel had to convert into a right back in Thilo Kehrer. So Thomas Tuchel knows what he's doing. PSG have an incredibly star-struck team, and that's what all the people know them for. Neymar, Mbappe, Di Maria, they had Cavani, they have Icardi now. They have these incredible stars. But if you look at their squad, their midfield is meh. I mean, they have Idrissa Gueye. He's a poor man's Kante. I mean, he bloody came from Everton. They have Ander Herrera, who wasn't even good enough anymore for Manchester United. They have Paredes, who we decided wasn't good enough for us because Sarri wanted him in the January window when he was playing for Zenit St. Petersburg. And then they have Verratti, who is basically like Kovacic, just better, in my opinion. Of course, they have a couple of other players, especially Marquinhos, last season in particular when the two centre-backs were Thiago Silva and Kimpembe, and Thiago Silva could play as a DM in a 4-3-3 system. Of course, now that Thiago Silva has left, Marquinhos had to feature more as a centre-back again. But still, he absolutely knows what he's doing, and he absolutely is a brilliant manager. And Percy Black, happy. Republic to India. Laurenz, I mean, if that's is sort of holiday in India, fair play, you know, brilliant, excited. We should sign Verratti. Well, I don't know if we should sign Verratti, but I will talk through more. Hold up, guys. I'm not done yet. I'm not anywhere near done yet. We're only getting started. We're only getting started to talk about Thomas Tuchel because he's, like I said, such an incredibly exciting manager. But like I said, he will tell you if he doesn't like something. And when he didn't like something at PSG, he didn't just go out and say it to the sporting director's face, Leonardo. He went and said it to the public in the media in the press conference. He was like, well, they're not giving me any players. How can I win the same thing? We're going to be worse this season than we were last season. And obviously they didn't like that. That's why the situation stopped. And the players there love him. Kylian Mbappe loves Thomas Tuchel. Thiago Silva loves Thomas Tuchel. They get on incredibly well. Even though there were certain comments from Thiago Silva which were completely taken out of context, they get on incredibly well. And if you ask any certain French journalists that obviously know much more in depth what's going on there, rather than the English media that are trying to paint Thomas Tuchel as this impossible to work with guy, which just isn't the case. And it's kind of making me question a lot of the things that the English media have done over the last few days, because on the one hand, they kind of threw Frank Lampard in the mud, in my opinion. But after Frank Lampard was gone, they kind of defended him with everything, went against the players, not even saying they were wrong with that. And now Thomas Tuchel is in. They were like, okay, he's the predecessor, he's the successor of Frank Lampard, so now we have to throw him under the bus. I do think Verratti is a little bit like Kovacic, just with better passing. So you could say a mix of Jorginho and Kovacic, if you will. Maybe he's a little bit like Billy Gilmour, I won't lie. Maybe he's a little bit like that. But Billy Gilmour doesn't quite have the dribbling skills that Marco Verratti has. Like I said, Lewis should be coming on at some point. I don't know when exactly he will come on, but he will. So stick around for that. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe, smash that like button, because I touched on this in my yesterday's stream already. when I checked my analytics, yes, my watch time comes from roughly 45% of my subscribers, but my actual views come from just 20% of my subscribers. So if we take that to here right now, we have 200 people watching. 20% of that is 40, which would tell me 160 of you are not subscribed. So all of you guys, go down below and subscribe right now. That'd be massively appreciated. But another few things that, of course, I absolutely have to mention. Thomas Tuchel, because I saw a lot of people out there over the last couple of days, ever since this basically became apparent that Thomas Tuchel would be the new Chelsea manager, that people were scared for our academy boys. Do not worry. Thomas Tuchel is one of the best coaches in the entire world at developing academy players and young players. Christian Pulisic was made a first-team player at Dortmund by Thomas Tuchel. He made Ousmane Dembele, who then ended up joining Barcelona for like 140 million euros. Obviously ended up being injured all the time there, but still he made him that player that Barcelona were willing to pay so much money for. Raheem asking me a question here saying, Laurenz, could you quickly go through if Tuchel is an attacking or defensive type of manager and what type of football he plays? Of course I can. Of course I can. And that's not a bad explanation, to be honest, by Sage here, because he loves his incredibly attacking and aggressive football, like Jurgen Klopp does. Incredibly aggressive in the press, in winning the ball back the second you lose it, but also like Pep Guardiola. First of all, incredibly tactically in it. Like I told you, at Mainz, he at times used 6 different formations in one game. And how did he explain that? He said, well, we're worse than the other teams, so we have to do crazy things tactically if we want to beat them. Otherwise, we're not going to beat them. Hence why he stopped being quite as crazy when he moved to Dortmund, and even less so when he moved to PSG. When you're the better team, you can play your system and usually win and usually get things done. If you're the worst team, you need to be more tactically intricate. So he can definitely do everything. And his philosophy is attack, attack, attack. His philosophy is he wants to score as many goals as possible every single game, but that doesn't mean he's happy conceding goals. He wants to keep every clean sheet he possibly can, wants to score as much as he possibly can. And that's what you want to see at the end of the day. That is what you want to see. That is exactly what we want to see. And his football is incredibly nice to watch. It's incredibly nice to watch. The amount of goals PSG score, I mean, their league season was last year terminated due to the global situation and terminated like 10 games early. And they had still already scored 75 goals. Yes, I know it's the French league. And yes, I know Farmers League and that. But still, 75 goals. Hey, if we score anywhere near 75 goals at Chelsea, I will bloody love that. I would bloody love that. Will really go improve on a Tuchel? I don't know, mate. I absolutely don't know. It's difficult to judge. It's difficult to judge. We will have to wait and see. But let me finish a couple of more points that I was talking about. Christian Pulisic, Ousmane Dembele, Julian Weigl, and many others at Dortmund. Many others. Trust me. He comes to PSG and developed many of them. Nkunku, and there are so many whose players I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I'm just going to butcher them. That in this first season, and then they were sold. And then he did more in the second season, and then they were sold. By the way, Nkunku is currently one of the starting players and one of the best performing players at RB Leipzig under Julian Nagelsmann this season. So Thomas Tuchel does know what he's doing with young players, and it will definitely not be any harm to any of our young players. Not Tammy Abraham, not Reece James, not Billy Gilmore, not Mason Mount, and not to the younger ones as well, whether it's Lewis Spate, whether it's Sunset Bell. Okay, he might be a bit too young to actually see the fruition of Thomas Tuchel. But there is no denying that he ended up with issues in every club that he has been in. And we have the first donation of the day, which I absolutely love from you guys. Absolutely love that. By Temper, £2 donation. Love that from you. Saying, big up, Laurenz. Can't wait for this big Tuchel fan. Well, I love that for you. I love that for you. Someone saying, allez, allez, allez. I don't know whether you're actually a French dude and a PSG fan or something, but allez, allez, allez. Why not? I can't lie, I'm very excited. Yes, exactly. We should be excited. We should be excited. Yes, it's sad that it didn't work out with Frank, but let's just move forward. Let's move forward and be excited and hope he can turn things around, because that's what I want to see. I want to see us play attacking, free-flowing football, score goals, make Kai Havertz work, make Timo Werner work, make Christian Pulisic be at the very best of his abilities again. The same goes for Hakim Ziyech, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and not all of these other players. We will touch on the player power issue that we had the news coming out about in the last couple of days as well, especially after my stream yesterday. We'll touch on that with Lewis too. But there is so many things about Thomas Tuchel that are just brilliant. That are honestly just brilliant. Like I said, he does work on the youth players. He loves academy players. He even did an interview with Rio Ferdinand, I think about a year ago, maybe a little bit more. And he was talking about things like, okay, that's what we want to see. he loves the academy players. He likes to get them involved in the training. He likes to get them involved in the games. He likes to get them around. Likes to have them around the first team. Says all they have to do is not be scared, not be nervous, and those are important things, and they absolutely are important things. I just need to send a couple of things here out. I will try to keep talking, but if you have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to shoot them. And like I said already before, please be sure to use the super chat function if you want to make sure that I see your message, because otherwise I might just miss it. Of course, you don't have to use the super chat function, but if you want to make sure that I see your message, please do use it. That would be great. All right, we've done a huge fan. Love the content. Love that from you, Hadi. Love that from you. Everyone, like I said, make sure you subscribe. We have 250 people watching, which I'm a big fan of. No, 70 min changes. Yes, finally. And that is one other thing which people need to get used to. Thomas Tuchel is not the guy to stick to the same 11 all the time. Thomas Tuchel loves a bit of rotation. Of course, some of it has to do with the fact that he is so big on high-intensity football, and high-intensity football takes more energy out of the players. It really does. So he does need rotation, and he will rotate, but in my opinion, that is not a bad thing at all. His training methods, to some extent, are a bit repetitive, but in other ways, they're incredibly innovative, they're incredibly exciting, and usually players absolutely love it. The likes of Roman Weidenfeller, the double-winning goalkeeper under Jurgen Klopp at Borussia Dortmund, said he might be a bit of a tricky person at times, but he's the best coach he's ever worked with. That means ahead of Jurgen Klopp. The same was for people like Daniel Alves, who, mind you, has worked under Pep Guardiola. Said he's one of the best coaches he's ever worked with. Like I said, Mbappe's post and public comments when Tuchel was sacked were like, "You leave a legacy here." You know, they've got on really, really well, and that is a big thing that I like about Thomas Tuchel. First of all, he's not taking any crap. He's absolutely not taking any crap. And if you think about it, yeah, of course we all think, yeah, but he falls out with every board and this and that. First of all, I think the board at Chelsea are a much bigger issue than Tuchel will be. But the biggest thing is here. If you think about the past managers that were actually properly successful at Chelsea, who were they? Think about it. Who were they? Jose Mourinho, and Antonio Conte. Realistically, they were the two most outspoken managers in the world, probably. Those were the ones that were really, really successful. Plus Carlo Ancelotti, who maybe doesn't quite fit that bill so much. But Ancelotti and Conte and Mourinho were extremely, extremely outspoken. They weren't taking any crap. And those were the most successful ones. Someone like Villas-Boas, he was a bit of a yes man. Did that go well? Di Matteo, he was a bit of a yes man. Did that go well? Yes, Frank Lampard was definitely outspoken, and there was issues going on at the club. He didn't know who to trust and all of that crap, which shouldn't be the case. But there is a story that I want to tell you about with Adrien Rabiot at PSG, now at Juventus. He was not having a certain thing just in training. He was bigging it up. He was like, wanted a new contract. He wanted more money, and he was just acting up. And Thomas Tuchel wasn't having it at all. Sent him straight to the academy, banned him from any sort of contact with the first team. He wasn't even allowed in and around the first team training ground. He got rid of him. He sold him. PSG kept winning, and he isn't even a starter at Juventus anymore. Thomas Tuchel does not have crap. Thomas Tuchel does not take any sort of crap from anybody. Yes, that will eventually end up in tears, in tatters with the Chelsea board. We know that. But my opinion is at this point, and Frank Lampard sacking yesterday has confirmed something to me. No manager at Chelsea will ever make it past 3 years. I don't think so at this point. Maybe someone like Julian Nagelsmann in a few years will prove me wrong with this statement, but I don't think anyone will actually be capable of doing this. So I don't really care whether Tuchel after 2.5, 3 years usually ends up having issues with the board of whatever club he's in, because it doesn't matter. He will probably be sacked before that anyway. But one thing I will say, player power, issues with the board, they only ever become a thing, well, maybe not for Tuchel, but usually only ever become a thing when points drop. The Chelsea board is actually very lenient on managers as long as the results are there. So as long as Tuchel brings the results, everything will be fine. Everything will be absolutely fine. And I'm excited to see a 4-4-2, a 4-2-2. Imagine this. Just think about it for a second. You know, we have a back four with Thiago Silva, obviously as the centre-back, next to, who knows, Zuma, Christensen, Rudiger. It might be any of them in my opinion. Yes, Rudiger is German, and yes, Tuchel wanted him at PSG, but maybe that's just because he knew he wasn't getting Zuma or Christensen. So you could see it in many different ways. You could absolutely see it in many different ways. But you will have the left back of Ben Chilwell. You will have right back Reece James. You will have a midfield too of N'Golo Kante, maybe Mason Mount, maybe Kovacic, maybe Jorginho, maybe someone that we signed in the summer. Who knows? And then we have, imagine a front four, Christian Pulisic on the left. Hakim Ziyech on the right, and then a front two of Kai Havertz and Timo Werner actually firing, coming deep, going short, going long, and pace, pace, pace. That's what Thomas Tuchel wants. He wants pace bloody everywhere, from top to bottom. He wants pace. That's why, in my opinion, if he does go for a 4-3-3 system, Hakim Ziyech will not be used as a winger. Hakim Ziyech will have to be used as part of the midfield three. How exactly that will work with Ziyech and Havertz, because I can't really see both of them being used at the same time, I don't know. But Ziyech will not be used as a proper winger in a front three system, in my opinion. Maybe we'll see a bit of Werner on the wing, and then see a striker of dropping deep and then Werner cutting in, which won't be a proper winger then. Maybe. But we'll have to wait and see. I could very much see a Werner down the middle, Pulisic on the left, Hudson on the right, or the other way around, and we just bloody go. And it's going to be so good to see. We're going to have quick passing football. We're going to have over-the-top balls. We're going to have counter-attacks. They had the most counter-attacking goals in the Liga last season. They had the most set-piece goals in Liga last season. They had the most penalties won in Liga last season. They had the most goals scored full stop from open play in Liga all season. Again, of course, it's the Liga, and PSG are by far out the best team. And I'm not even saying right now we're going to go and win the league. That's not what I'm saying. But hopefully we're going to get better. I still wish, now that all of this has happened, that we just sack Frank after Manchester City, because then Tuchel would have had a bit more time. Now, he has one training session before the Wolves game tomorrow. How is that going to change anything? Maybe there's a little bit of pressure taken off the players, which might free them up a little bit, and we could get a result, which I bloody hope for. And then the Burnley game will be difficult as well, and the Tottenham one will be very interesting. Thomas Tuchel against Jose Mourinho. That will be a fascinating thing to watch. But after that, we have a little bit of a gap. And then especially between Barnsley and Southampton, and then Southampton and another game, we have a bit of time to work on things, and that's when I hope to start things clicking, and that's when I hope to start seeing things going really, really well. Let me just text Lewis what he's saying. When about you think you're jumping over? But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, if you want to make sure that I see your message in the chat, because we have over 330 of you watching, which I'm a huge fan of. If you obviously want to make sure that I see your chat message, please don't hesitate to use the super chat function just to actually see it. Calm down, mate. He's good, but you're getting carried away. No, mate, I just have to get a bit excited. You know what I mean? I just have to get a little bit excited. See, no. 3-5-2 is not what I want to see. And that's what I'm kind of, I want Nagelsmann eventually, but I'm kind of not too angry that it's not what we have right now. And let's come to the negatives of Thomas Tuchel. Let's come to the negatives. Of course, things can't always go perfectly well. Yes, he only won the German Cup with Borussia Dortmund. It's true. That's all he won. But he was also up against Guardiola's Bayern Munich, which was extremely difficult to beat. But he didn't fall out with a few players. He didn't fall out with the board there. He did have a couple of issues at PSG. Sometimes, with Neymar wants to go party, and then he lets him, and then he doesn't. And there is certain things that he has, but his results come. He has the best points record, better than Klopp at Dortmund, better than Klopp at Mainz, and better than any PSG manager at Paris, better than Carlo Ancelotti, better than Unai Emery, better than Laurent Blanc, better than all of these guys, a better points per game record. And whether some people say PSG fans hate him or not, I don't know. I don't know any PSG fans. All I know is that the stats speak for themselves. The stats speak for themselves. And when we talk about Frank didn't have any experience, Frank didn't have any credibility or credentials, pardon me, Tuchel does bring the credentials. Tuchel brings all of the credentials to at least be successful for the intermediate time. I don't think Tuchel will last much longer than the 18 months contract that he's given. Of course, the 18 months contract is a situation of 18 months and then an option for another year, but the option lies on both sides. So Chelsea have the option to extend, and Tuchel has the option to extend. If say Chelsea don't want to extend, but Tuchel does, he can do that, and then Chelsea have to sack him and still compensate him and pay him out, right? And then, well, I mean, I guess if Tuchel wants to leave, he doesn't have any right to any compensation, obviously. So there are positive things. Will Mount keep his starting position? That is an interesting question by Sam. And that is an interesting question that we need to discuss, that we absolutely have to discuss, because who knows? I don't know. I think it depends on the system. I think Thomas Tuchel will come in and at the start probably use a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. In my personal opinion, he of course used the 4-2-3-1 at PSG also at times. But he also used 5 at the back and 3 at the back system. So that doesn't really say that much. But that's what I think at the start. I think Mason Mount will get regular game time under Thomas Tuchel, but we'll have to wait and see what he actually does. Of course, he hasn't managed in the Premier League before. So those are things that you have to consider and that we kind of just have to wait for and see what actually happens. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. That's it. That's it. I don't lie, of course, but everyone else does. They're going to see every player play in his right positions. Actually, probably the opposite, because Thomas Tuchel likes mixing players around and putting them in different positions. Guerrero, the current now left back, left wing back, left mid of Borussia Dortmund, he started as a centre mid until Tuchel just turned him into a left back. Still plays as a left back now. So, what if we win 6-0 tomorrow? Well, that would be bloody sick. Mount is a passion merchant. I don't care. He's a bloody good passion merchant because he's been our best player this season, alongside Reece James until Reece James had the injury troubles. So I still think that. So, let me talk through the team again. Mendy probably go, not Kepa, unless the board tell him you have to use Kepa. Who knows? We'll see. Thiago Silva next to whoever, I don't know. Reece James, Ben Chilwell. And midfield three of, I think, N'Golo Kante. I think Kai have... Maybe he will use the 4-2-3-1. It's difficult to judge what he will go with tomorrow. I think tomorrow he will actually pick a 4-2-3-1. Pick Kante. Maybe Kovacic. Kante isn't fit, is he? Do we even know if Kante is fit? That's the issue. Because if I'm going to predict a team for tomorrow, I don't know if Kante is fit. Because once things click against a lot of opponents, I think he will use their 4-2-2. I think he will be very, very happy to use that. Kai isn't great as an A. He might not be 100% incredible at it, but I very much believe that he can get incredibly good at it. I certainly can. Kante and Mount, I agree with this, but Kante isn't fit yet, is he? So that kind of slightly the issue. Highbrow. What did he say? Hi, bro. I'm the guy who said about that. I can't give you money, but I give you my support by subscribing. How you doing? My brother, how you doing? How you doing? I hope you're well, the Real Madrid fan. I hope we can compete with it in the Champions League with you this season at the end of the day. Because that'd be sick. Let's get some positivity going. Let's get some momentum going. We beat Luton. And let's hope things just don't go to crap. I want top 4. I want the FA Cup. I want to do well in the Premier League, in the Champions League. We just need to bloody good things. He'll play Jorginho instead of Kante. See, I'm not 100% sure because people think that, and I know he kind of fancied him at PSG, but I don't think he wanted Jorginho as a start at PSG. I don't believe that. So I also think once he sees Billy Gilmour, I think he wouldn't be totally opposed to using Billy Gilmour rather than Jorginho. So, I mean, I bloody say what I want. All right, calm down. I don't know. I don't know exactly what he will do with Jorginho. It will be interesting. It will most certainly be interesting. And here we have Deno with the second donation off the table, which I love, saying Mount will continue playing, but not as much. We will improve tactically. Casualties may include Abraham and probably Ziyech, unless Ziyech plays as a 10. I agree with this, the last part. Unless Ziyech plays as 10 or 8, I think Ziyech will struggle a little bit to find quite as much significant game time. But also, you can't consider we only have 2 proper wingers. So Tuchel will have to work with Ziyech sometimes as a winger as well. He will have to. He has no 2 choices. And Thomas Tuchel is very good at adapting to what he has. He's incredibly, incredibly good at it. I think Mount will still play a lot, not as much as Anna Frank, because he played literally every game. But that isn't good for him anyway. But I disagree on Tammy Abraham. I think Tammy Abraham will get good minutes. Yes, maybe he won't start quite as much as he did on a Frank, but he will get games, because especially if Tuchel decides to play a 2 up top formation quite often, he will need rotation. You can't always play Timo and Kai up top. You can't always play these 2. Tammy Abraham will get minutes. Tammy Abraham is strong. Tammy Abraham is fast. Tammy Abraham is tall, even though not the best in the air, but he's got great finishing. Tammy Abraham will get game time, and I think all of these guys will. I think Billy Gilmour will as well, unless the Chelsea board have decided to loan him out, but that wouldn't be Tuchel's decision, I don't think. So I see a lot of positives. I think the players that will struggle a lot is someone like Aspie, personally, although he did play a centre-back at right-back for PSG, didn't he? But Thilo Kehrer is quite fast as well, so yeah. Marcos Alonso will never see the light of day again. Absolutely not, and I'm very glad about this. I still don't know 100% about Antonio Rudiger. I think he will get more minutes than he did until a couple of weeks ago on the Frank, but I hope it's not a long-term thing. I think eventually he will be phased out, hopefully. I could be wrong, but hopefully. And I think that's the best situation, because I think we will put a lot of emphasis on the likes of Christian Pulisic. I think if Hudson-Odoi gets on at the start with Tuchel, I think that could be a very good thing to happen and to see as well. I would be incredibly excited for that too. That's exactly what I want to see. But I think this is a positive for pretty much every player in the squad. Even Mason Mount, and I'm sure he's got it, and as was I, right, when Frank Lampard was sacked. I'm sure they got it. But if they work hard, they're first-team players now. they will get involved. And I'm sure the likes of Livramento, Henry Laurenz, Lewis Spate, I'm sure they will all get minutes. And I'm sure in the summer when Loney's come back, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Ethan Ampadu, Amanda Broja, also Tino Andrin, of course, right now. I think these guys will all get minutes, and I think these guys will all get minutes and stuff like that. I would love that. Do I play FPL? No, actually, I don't, because I always forget. Tactically better, system 2, results will change. Top 4 is a must, of course, and that is something that we need to discuss here. One thing that is for sure is Thomas Tuchel is coming here with massive, massive pressure. It doesn't get much more difficult for you as a Chelsea manager than succeeding Frank Lampard. Thomas Tuchel is first of all very lucky to not have Frank Lampard to not have fans in the ground. I don't think Thomas Tuchel himself would get booed because this is not his fault, and I think the fans understand that. But I think they would consistently chant Frank Lampard, Frank Lampard, Frank Lampard, Super Frank, and whatever, and boo the board. I think they would. I think there would be signs with snakes towards certain players because of what the reports have suggested over the last couple of days. So I think Tuchel is slightly fortunate with that. But, and let's not kid ourselves into this, if you succeed Frank Lampard, you are expected a lot from. Because think of this, if we don't make top 4, if we don't qualify for the Champions League for next season, if we don't improve drastically, there was no point in sacking Frank Lampard because we could have had a nicer ending then. Yes, it might be nicer to watch for us, but if it isn't enough to still get top 4 and maybe win the FA Cup and do better in the Champions League, if none of these things happen, then there was no point in sacking Frank Lampard. We could have just gone with him until the end of the season. We could have officially made him resign, and everything would have been nicer and better, and it would have been beautiful. So Thomas Tuchel has a lot of pressure on him to perform, to succeed. No one's going to put the pressure on him from tomorrow, even from Burnley, even from Spurs. But slowly but surely after that, 3, 4, 5 weeks into his reign, we will start to expect results, and we will start to expect performances. And that's when it will be interesting how he will handle that, how he will deal with that, because it absolutely has to work. It absolutely has to click. We absolutely need it. Can you touch on the Demba Ba accusations, Raheem? Yes, I can. Now, if you don't know about it, and of course it is not ideal, and that is why I was for a long time kind of hesitant on the situation with Thomas Tuchel. If you remember the PSG against Başakşehir game in the Champions League, I think it was the last group stage game, certain things happened, and a certain Romanian fourth official said a certain thing towards a certain human of an ethnic minority. And the Başakşehir players kicked off, rightly so, absolutely correctly so. Racism is not accepted in football. Racism is not accepted anywhere. Racism, everyone that's racist is an absolute C word. But, you know, don't want to kill my own monetization, so let's not use that. And then there has been talk by Demba Ba that Thomas Tuchel did certain things. Demba Ba never wanted to specify. Demba Ba said he will keep it between him and Tuchel, and whenever he meets him, he will talk about it. That's what he said. What we saw, I don't know. So I want to see Thomas Tuchel clear this up. I would have preferred to see it be cleared up before he joined us as a manager, because we know what happens around Chelsea. We know what sad issues with racism Chelsea have had in the past, whether it was our first black player, whether it was in Paris on the underground, whether it was with Raheem Sterling a couple of seasons ago, even if that was said to, in the end, we found out he wasn't actually saying anything racist. If I don't remember, I'm not 100% sure if I remember this correctly. But, and I spoke to Lewis about this, and hopefully I will be able to touch on this with him very soon as well. He said the way he took it was just Tuchel wanted to not blame anybody before he knew all the facts. And Demba Ba was like saying, no, you need to support us. We can't accept racism. And I agree with Demba Ba, to be honest. And I don't think whatever Tuchel did, it seems like it wasn't a good move. But obviously, we don't know both sides of the story. We don't know both sides of the story, hence why we shouldn't hold it too much against Tuchel until either Demba Ba speaks out about it properly and tells us the full truth. And then we can say Tuchel is a prick or not. But for now, I don't think we quite know enough to properly say like he's this or he's that. But I do want Tuchel to clear the situation up. And obviously, it's incredibly difficult for me to talk about this. Like, I'm a white guy. I'm a white man. I'm as privileged as it bloody gets. So it is difficult for me because it's difficult to find the right words. So I don't want to spend too much time on it because I will probably just say something wrong. But this is about the worst statement I've ever heard in my life. Alonso deserves a lot of things, but a chance is about the last thing he deserves. Absolutely. There's a bug on my face. No, there isn't. That's a spot, and that's a spot. I don't know why this is happening, but you know. You know, things are not that easy. I'm hoping for Lewis to jump on very, very soon. I really do. I don't know where he is. I don't know why he's not here, but hopefully he will come on soon. Message him quickly to see what the situation is. And again, ladies and gentlemen, there's still 340 people watching, which I'm a massive, massive fan of. So please be sure to smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like I touched on already, only around 20% of my views come from subscribers. So judging by that, 350, not 100% sure what 20% of that is. Well, 70, isn't it? So only about 70 of you would be subscribed. So if I think about that, that means over 200, no, not over 200, yeah, no, over 200 to over 250 nearly, are not subscribed. So go down below and subscribe right now. Please do. Please subscribe and smash the like button. That'd be sick. Expectations for Tuchel at the end of the season. Well, top 4, and I did get a little bit of a run in the Champions League would be great, and hopefully the FA Cup. But I think it's always harsh to expect a cup, because if we face a Liverpool Liverpool are out. If we face a Man City, a Manchester United, a Tottenham in the cup, it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But Lewis is about to be here. He just messaged me. He's coming now. So that's exactly what I'm incredibly excited for. Hi, mate. Chilwell, best. 280. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You're my bro. Who do you think will be the first 3 players brought into the club? That's an interesting question by Limited Edition. That's an interesting question by you there. Lewis is about to join us, so be sure to stick around, check out, subscribe, all of that. It's interesting. Obviously, there has been a couple of links, a couple of minor links with Marquinhos now coming out today, and that would be unbelievable. Marquinhos is one of the best centre-backs in the entire bloody world. So if we could get him, I'd be a big fan of that. I'd be a big fan of that. There was also small rumours about Jude Bellingham. I think we will sign a DM. Who that will be, I don't know. What I know, it won't be Declan Rice. Will we try to get Erling Haaland? I think the board will still try. Essentially, they have to try, don't they? So you seriously suggesting Emerson is better than Alonso? Mate, Emerson is so much better than Alonso. It's about comparing Messi and bloody Kepa. That's how much better Emerson is than Alonso. That's how much it is. Is he not too small for the Premier League? Well, Thiago Silva's doing it, and I think Thiago Silva's even shorter than Marquinhos. I'm not 100% sure. Are the Haaland links true? The Haaland links are true in the sense that Chelsea want him. Whether it will happen or not is a whole different story. I mean, it's a whole different story. But I have a match coming, but I don't have cash. Don't know what that means. I can't exactly give you cash myself, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one. What do I see here? First session with a familiar face. What's he seeing? Yeah, you could see Thomas Tuchel and Pulisic on a picture that was just posted online, which is great to see. And that's one other thing that I want to touch on. Thomas Tuchel, it is a difficult situation to come into the club during the season, but Thomas Tuchel has a few advantages. First of all, he's worked with a few of the players before in terms of Christian Pulisic and Thiago Silva. All of them get on really well. He also has the advantage, of course, he's German. He was already interested in Jorginho. He was already interested in Rudiger. He knows Timo Werner. He knows Kai Havertz. Of course he does. And he has an easier link because they're of the same country and speak the same language. He also speaks the same language as Kovacic, even though I'm not a fan of Kovacic with the current reports. But Kovacic is born in Austria. He speaks fluent German, obviously. So where does Mount go? Into our midfield, mate. Into our midfield. That's what's going to happen. I don't have cash to buy boots. You don't have cash to buy boots? Well, I don't know. I can't give you any boots, but I'm sure someone will sort you out. Someone sort my brother out. Anyway, what am I talking about? I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, he knows a few of the players, and like I touched on already in 2018 when he tried to get the Chelsea job, I reckon it was probably then after Conte, before Sarri. I might be mixing things up here, right? When that happened, he was. He knew the academy. He knew the academy and he knew our young players. And that is only a positive. I would assume, obviously he's been in talks with the Chelsea board for a little while, right? He's been in talks with them for a little while. And if you think about it like that, he probably would have prepared again, knows the players, knows player profiles, and knows what he's getting into. Of course, he will see slightly different things on the training pitch, but it's still exciting. Thomas Tuchel is a great manager. Thomas Tuchel is a really, really great manager. I know the title says better than Klopp and Guardiola. That's what some people are saying. I told you already, Roman Weidenfeller said he's a better coach than Jurgen Klopp is. And there are some people that say he's even tactically more astute than He's even tactically more astute than Pep Guardiola is. Lewis Reid. There we go. My G. Lewis coming. Lewis is coming. Lewis should be coming any second now. I assume he will, maybe get himself a drink or something. Very excited for Tuchel. Whose press is more aggressive, Nagelsmann, Tuchel or Klopp? See, that's difficult to judge. I think it's incredibly difficult to judge, Percy, but appreciate it. It was 3 years ago, so 2018. Yeah, that's it. Are the links with Verratti true? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Should I do a video with Thogden? Well, we do know each other, so I could that's not the one I'm trying to click on. That's one. We do know each other, so I could try and get that started. We could try and get that started. Be Rohit, I don't know. I'm sorry, bro. I absolutely have no idea whether he will or not. I think we'll just have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. It's amazing. A new manager comes in, and it automatically linked to everyone of the same nationality. Come on, people. Verratti isn't the same nationality as Tuchel, so I don't really know how that's happened. But I mean, I assume because people are joining, I assume Lewis will be joining us very, very soon as well. So I'm excited for that. I hope you guys are. Again, if you want to subscribe, please do. Please do. Smash the like button. And look who's here. Look who's here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, bro. What are you saying, man?
Hold up. I need to change mics because with the mic, I'm currently actually hear you. So I need to change mics quickly.
Wait, what was that?
People can hear you. I just can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, what are you saying anyway? Thomas Tuchel's at the wheel. Probably not for long, knowing our record. But yeah, I'm gassed. It's low-key feels like a new season because we're at the halfway point.
Honestly.
Oh yeah, I realised you probably didn't hear a word of that, did you?
No, I did. I just because my
cool.
mic is an aux mic, so if I plug it in, I obviously don't hear nothing.
Yeah, no, that's cool. But what's everybody saying anyway? What's the mood around here?
Well, we had a Lewis Reid just a minute ago, which was fun. So that's exciting. But hey, well, Ray just means people from your chat coming over, innit?
Oh, geez. Okay, good. I'm glad they've all jumped on. I told them to.
Exactly.
I'm glad they didn't just snake me out. But yeah, perfect. I'm glad to see him here. What's everyone saying? Oh, man said my stash. I need to shave, man. Oh my gosh.
Bro, we all have those issues. At least you grow a proper stash. If I run around and don't shave, I just look like a nonce. So
yeah, but the beard still ain't connecting. It's jarring, man, isn't it? Have you seen the edits though for the Tuchel stuff? Like, I can't lie, those edits are cold.
They are cold. They really, really are cold. Honestly, some of these things have been sick, and I'm excited for it. Of course, we was over on your channel earlier already. I'm just looking forward to it. Of course, like we spoke with Alex about it, I did my own research. Tuchel is just an exciting manager, all these different formations, attack, crazy high press, using youngsters, having the best win ratio at Mainz, having the best win ratio at Dortmund, better than Klopp. Yes, a few less years there, but still the best win ratio, win percentage of any PSG manager. And, Lewis fans always claim, it's only PSG, it's a Farmers League. Well, he still did better than all of the previous ones. So you have to look at that as well, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, all that Tuchel's done and everything I've been reading about his style of play just makes me feel optimistic. And we've got a squad that I think suits that. Not just in terms of our starting 11, but we got like different types of players in different types of positions as well. So whatever style of play he does want to play, whatever formation that he does want to play, I do think we have an 11 that can suit that, which is why I'm optimistic for this. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know about Tuchel and I've watched him for the last 4 or 5 years, because I really haven't. It's the same thing with what you're saying. The more I'm researching him, the more I'm listening to him in interviews, the more I'm getting an understanding of his style of play. It's making me feel optimistic. And it's already better than what we originally had in Frank Lampard. So I've got no complaints here. I'm happy. I do want to see the first game against Wolves because there's going to be a lot of speculation until that game comes around. But I've got no reason not to have a bad feel about this. I do think we can go places. And we're also in a very good position with how the Premier League table is. 11 points off the title, 5 points off 4th place. In my opinion, everything is still up for grabs, especially with how inconsistent the season is. So obviously, let's not get too ahead of ourselves like we did in November. Obviously, don't get ahead of yourselves if we win our next 3 games, because our next 5 to 7 games, bar Tottenham, it should just be easy wins. The same way, depending on what happens after that, see where we are at the end of February, because February is a real tough month.
Oh, no, it really is a tough month. Honestly, the end of February, the beginning of March is crazy. Atletico, Man United, I think an Everton in there, then Atletico again, Liverpool. Honestly, we have it coming for us. We absolutely have it coming for us, but we have to look at the positives. And like you said, everything is still to play for. The points difference to everywhere isn't very big. The only thing is there is a lot of teams to overtake. So we need a lot of people to the points. It's not like trying to catch up 5 or 7 points or 11 points on one team. It's like we kind of have to catch up all of those points on like 8 teams. And that's kind of what makes it a little bit more difficult than it sounds.
And I get that. But the only thing as well is that with how tight the table is, a win can take you above 3 teams in one goal, or a loss could take you below 4 teams. It's easier said than done that we need consistency because nobody's been consistent this season. Same way, though, I'm seeing a lot of players who have been in poor form for most of the season. And I think if they can get into good form and they can ride that out, this is the run-in end of the season. This is where every single point counts. In my opinion, double compared to how it did in the first half of the season. Because now there's added importance to each one of these games. Because you're not getting a second round against either of these teams. You're also running out of games because we're getting towards the final point of the season. We've changed managers, not completely at the right point, because the right point could have been the Man City game. But we've done it at a good time as well, because we're now at the halfway point of the season. There's another 19 games to go. Let's do this, man. I'm excited.
Exactly. That's exactly my thoughts. You just have to be positive, you know? Like, I know you weren't exactly quite as sad as maybe some others, and even as myself to some extent yesterday, but that's in the past now. You know, we have to look forward. We have an exciting manager that you and I at least are very excited about, and I'm extremely looking forward to it. And that's all that's what I want to see. I want to be excited. I want to be excited to watch Chelsea. I want to be excited for what's to come. I don't want to dread the next game. And on the Frank Lampard, honestly, recently it has been like whenever I heard him talk, I heard things like I was getting a bit more motivated and excited again. The second I saw us play, I was all down and depressed again. And I've had enough of that. I really don't want to see that. But we do have a donation, which, took me a while to get to it. Sorry, Football Press. Asking, do you think Tuchel will get Havertz and Werner firing? I do strongly believe so. I do strongly believe so because I think his system suits the types of players that these two both are a lot better than what Frank Lampard did. That's
exactly that. And the thing with this is that I'm looking at differences in intensity. We play a very slow intensity style of football under Frank Lampard, especially in the December period. We weren't doing that in the November periods, but we also had Timo Werner play on the left wing every single match. So it's no surprise that we didn't get the best out of him. This one, though, I mean, high-intensity football, and I do also believe that he's going to go and get the best out of Timo Werner through that. I am excited. I am very excited to see Timo Werner playing because he's a confidence player and he's also a system player. So play to his strengths, and you have one of the best strikers in the world yet again in that team. Yes. And as soon as he starts firing, the confidence will be back. As soon as he finds himself in those positions that he was used to being at in RB Leipzig, you will have the Timo Werner back. Just play to his strengths and stop asking him to do things that he's not capable of. Like winning headers against Ruben Diaz. That's never going to happen.
Exactly. That's the things we need. We need to play, not necessarily even a system. A system can work in different ways, and good players should be able to feature in a few different systems. But no one is capable, or almost no one is capable of being really good in every system. And if you're going to put Timo Werner up front, don't play long balls that he has to win a header for. That's not going to work. But I am confident. I will be excited to see a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-2 in some games. Not in every game. We're not going to do that against Liverpool and Man City and stuff like that. But in some games, imagine a front two of Werner and Havertz and Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi around them, Pulisic and Ziyech around them, or even a front two in some games. Why not go all out crazy and have like a Werner and a Pulisic or something? And like even you throw a Tammy Abraham in there every now and again, and it's just exciting. And the fact that we're already linked with bloody Marquinhos, who's one of the best centre-backs and midfielders in the bloody world. I mean, it's getting me gassed all over the shop, I'm telling you.
Exactly, man. It's exciting times yet again to be a Chelsea fan. But I also do think we have the experience of the first time it was exciting times, not to get too gassed over it, because I can't lie, and I still don't regret any of it, but our fan base absolutely mudded ourselves the last 4 months getting too gassed. So let's not do it too much. Let's just ride the wave for what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy, man. Look at the way we're set up. And also, like I said, look at the games that we got coming up. Perfect games to experiment with. At the very least, could have sacked Lampard by the Leicester game. I understand giving him the Luton game as a nice little send-off and everything like that. But same way, if we don't beat Wolves tomorrow, I'm going to go back to that and I'm going to be like, right, so are you lot happy giving him that random goodbye for no reason? And now Thomas Tuchel didn't have the one game to experiment with his team. Not really the best of moves.
It's tricky because I don't think it was necessarily their plan, right? I don't think it was necessarily their plan to do it like that. I feel like they probably wanted Tuchel a couple of days before already, but it probably took a little bit of time and they didn't quite have it sorted. So they wouldn't have had any manager on, like, I guess that's kind of how it happened. I mean, ideally, like I touched on already, they probably should have done it after Man City already, not even just Leicester City. But let's hope a little bit of weight can just be lifted off the guys' shoulder tomorrow already, get that win. Hopefully a little bit of an effect already against Burnley, because it would be crazy if we saw something significantly different tomorrow already. That would be ridiculous to me. But for the Burnley game, for the Tottenham game, I would love to see things differently. And Philipp Bichler saying things in German, which wouldn't necessarily make sense to you, Lewis. All he said is CSA means Chelsea Supporters Club Austria. Greetings, basically. So I appreciate that, Philip.
I was trying to figure that out. I couldn't even copy and paste the words for translate.
No. Translate wouldn't have told you CSA. It's just Chelsea Supporters Club Austria.
Okay, so, cool. Save
exactly.
for that.
Exactly. We have the dudes all over the world, you know. It's not just a local business, even if some people like to
I tell that to the Alki Adars because they can't tell anything outside of Stamford Bridge.
Exactly. And we have another donation coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see, make sure that I see your chat message, do use the super chat function. Of course, you don't have to. I'm not making anyone pay, but if you want to make sure, because
I'm sure I can find a way to unblock you. I'll give me a sec. I'll get it sorted.
Who's blocked?
Oh, Sudan. I think that's what the super chat was about.
Wait, let me see that. Big up Lewis and Laurenz. I deeply apologize for yesterday. Please accept my apology. I was very angry and really I wasn't thinking. Please acknowledge. I didn't block you, I don't think. Maybe
no,
Lewis's
that was me still. But yeah, let me find out how to unblock him and I'll get that sorted. But go on. I'll sort that out after the stream.
Well, I appreciate the donation regardless, and Lewis will make sure that you get unblocked. You know, we know you're about all of the streams, so we appreciate the support, although I have no idea what you said, so I can't really judge. But love for the donation anyways. I think a couple of things that we have to talk about, and we touched on it on your stream earlier already. Do you think that the pressure he faces now is significantly higher because he is replacing Frank Lampard and because his results need to be real good for the fans, especially the ones that are unhappy, to almost accept the fact that he replaced Frank? Obviously, fans aren't in the grounds right now, but eventually they will start to come back, you'd assume, right? So do you think that massive pressure will be an issue, or do you think it will be the same as for any other manager?
The pressure coming from the board or from the fans?
Well, I guess a mix of both, but I mean, probably because the board don't want to be scrutinized too much, it's also from the board, isn't it?
Yes, but same way, that's also why he's on an 18-month contract as well. If things don't go to plan, they can just cut him off quickly, and that will just be it. I think pressure just comes with being at Chelsea. With the stuff coming out about Frank Lampard and the amount of people telling him about how tough the Chelsea job was and how tough he ended up realizing the Chelsea job was. I think the understanding of managing our club and all the struggles with it is something that he will already know. He knows it's going to be a high-risk job, but there's also a high reward. I think if he succeeds over 18 months, I see no reason to give him an extension on the deal. But these short contracts, I think, are exactly what's best for us right now. Yeah. I big up Mo as well. I remember you from Ajax, man. It's been way too long, bro.
Honestly, you wasn't in Frankfurt, were you?
No, I wasn't Frankfurt.
No, exactly, because he was with us in Frankfurt as well. Big up, my G. Big up.
Yeah, I know I can chill with you for away days at least, because I know there's a lot of people I can't chill with. So yeah, I'm a coach with you still.
Exactly. We did have a comment here, which I don't know where exactly it came from. So handsome man, apparently. If you want to confirm that in the chat where exactly that has come from, please do tell me where this has come from, because he did say there is concern that N'Golo Kante is becoming unsettled by the amount of change during almost 5 years at Stamford Bridge, even though there is no sense that he has made any move to try and leave. And I will back that up because Matt Law has just tweeted, Tuchel announced, and one of his most pressing tasks will be to keep Kante happy. So you do assume that that's probably Telegraph, he said. Okay, so that's where it comes from. What do you think about that? Do you think that is the biggest thing, or do you think that's just the media trying to make things more difficult for Tuchel 10 minutes into being appointed?
Well, read that one again because I was still trying to sort out the block part.
Wait, let me get it. There it is.
Becoming unsettled by the amount of... What?
It's come from the Telegraph from Matt Law.
Kante's becoming unsettled by the amount of change. I can't lie. Even if that was the case, it sounds like a BS excuse for it. But managers are... I mean, I understand if he really enjoyed Sarri ball like that, because he said he absolutely enjoyed Sarri's time. It's the most freedom he felt like he had. Other than that, though, I don't see any reason how that could even make sense, because I understand stories, but stories also have to make sense as well. I can't get my head around that one. That don't make enough sense to me. And N'Golo Kante just gives off this content vibe of anything, of just life, like he's just content. So I don't get why this would be the thing that pushes him away. Like, if I thought it'd be anything, maybe the guy would want more wages or something. Like, I even think the wages he's on might be a bit of a laugh or something. He's only on 145k a week, and he's nowhere near any of our highest earners. 145k a week or something along the lines of that. And he's nowhere near our highest earner in the club.
Okay. I thought he had the biggest contract, but I could have been
wrong. No, Chilwell does.
What?
Ben Chilwell's our highest earner.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I always like flipping that on people just to see their face. Ben Chilwell earns the most at our club. The hustling his agent must have done, man. It must be Willian's agent as well. That's the only way it makes any sense.
Yeah, honestly, that is a bit of a mental one, if you ask me, to be honest. But I think the last few things that we should probably discuss are, first of all, who do you think, if anyone, is a big loser of this Thomas Tuchel appointment, first of all, and who do you think are the biggest winners? And let's not try to just put it, they speak German, so they must be the biggest winners.
Oh, he said Kante's on 300k a week. That ain't true.
That as well.
Nah, that might, if that's plus add-ons or something, maybe. But as base wages, it ain't that. But what were you saying? Winners and losers.
Yeah, exactly. You look that up. I will just give my thoughts on it as to straight away. I think the biggest losers, I don't know if you can call Alonso a loser because he was already not there for Lampard now. But I don't think he will see any light of day, because I think Emerson, if anything, will be quite all right as a backup under Tuchel if he sticks around, obviously. Could even do with Ian Martin, who's played an incredible season so far in the Championship with Bristol, I think it is. Or is it Brentford? One of the two.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's doing well. Maybe he could be the backup left back next season. But I think Alonso will definitely miss out drastically. I think, to start with, not Jorginho, but I think eventually Jorginho will miss out, because I just think Billy's and Jorginho's attributes are so similar that it wouldn't, like Tuchel, who likes young players, it wouldn't make sense to pick Jorginho so drastically over Billy. I know experience, and maybe in the first few weeks and months he will even use him, but I think come the summer, Jorginho, if any offers come in for him, both Tuchel and the club will accept like offers for him. And then I think in terms of the front three, I'm slightly worried that Ziyech could be a loser under Tuchel. I won't lie, because like we touched on with Alex on your stream already, Tuchel likes pace on his wings, right? Meaning that kind of takes Ziyech, as at least the every week starter, takes him out of the wing spot. And unless he's happy to play Havertz and Ziyech in a midfield three, I don't see how both can start together.
That makes it a sticky one for Ziyech, because you already know that what's his name? Kai Havertz is definitely one for the future, because he's only 21 years old. Yep. Ziyech, though, correct me if I'm wrong, he's on 27, 28, and that's nothing to say that he's old or anything.
Yeah,
like,
I think he's 27. Yeah, let me check.
Yes, it's nothing to say that he's old or anything like that, but it's also where does he fit next to Kai Havertz? Because if you're going to think about how to fit Kai Havertz and Ziyech, you're always going to think about Kai Havertz first, because he's got the highest ceiling, he's the more expensive player, and he's the one that's going to be around for longer as well in terms of age. So I'm not too sure about. There's a lot of different question marks to ask about this, because our depth is still massive, and it all depends on the formation that we play with, who starts, and with how flexible Thomas Tuchel is as a manager. That's a lot of questions, and I think it's too much to even ask. So potential winners and losers, potentially might be a loser. Same way, it's like a player of that quality. I mean,
it's true. Like, people are saying it in the chat right now that they can't see it and Ziyech can play as a 10 and Ziyech can play free roam. I totally know this and I agree with this, and I don't even think he should be one of the victims of this situation. All I'm saying is because of Kai Havertz, and you're not going to play Ziyech as a 10 over Kai Havertz. The board aren't going to let that happen. Even if Tuchel doesn't like to listen to the board, he has the German-speaking connection, one part. Havertz is also an incredibly good player. He's one of the most talented young players in the entire world, and we pulled off one of the craziest deals to ever happen in Chelsea's history when we signed him. So Havertz long-term won't be dropped for Ziyech. So there's a difference. Either, in my opinion, either Tuchel finds a way to use them both, or Ziyech will lose out and will be a bit of a rotational player, which is not a bad thing because Tuchel likes to rotate a lot. So that will still get you probably one game a week, or at least one game every 2 weeks. So it's not like you will be phased out completely. Not at all what I'm trying to say. But still, it's just a thought I had. Well, I think the big winners will be, first of all, Pulisic, who can only get better and better with age. The same goes for him
as well from the Dortmund days too.
Exactly. Brought him through and everything. Timo Werner, I think, will strongly benefit from him as well. And then I think a couple of underdog players that I think will strongly benefit is, first of all, footballing-wise, I think Mason Mount will benefit a lot. He won't play as much as he did on the Frank, but he will still play a lot. I'm confident of that. But just think of how different the football is. And Mason Mount is so young and so eager to learn and so good at learning and adapting. We've seen that going from the Championship to Chelsea, playing as a 10, playing as an 8, playing as a kind of a 6 in some games as well. He's so adaptable and so quick to learn. I think Mason Mount can learn so much from a manager like Tuchel that personally, I'm excited to see where that can go over the next few years.
Yeah, and that's a big word for this. It's excitement. Like, there's a lot of players that I think can fit in Tuchel's system. And this even before we talk about potential transfers. You said that we've heard Marquinhos' name pop up. Erling Haaland's still rumoured for the summer. There was a third name as well. I think in midfield that I forgot about. But I can't remember.
Verratti? Is it that one?
We're linked with Verratti.
I heard it. But at least people in the chat tell me, are we like linked to Verratti? Do you believe it? Whatever.
I mean, good luck getting him off PSG. PSG, like the one club in the world that don't need to sell players and will never be needed to be pushed to sell players either. Rudiger, probably because he was trying to tap up Tuchel for the weeks before Frank Lampard was getting sacked.
I don't know.
Is that the Grand Dam in the comment section as well? Big up, Dammy. What are you saying, man?
Big up, Dammy. Do you want to get a cheeky invite? Do you want to get a cheeky invite, Big Dam?
You might as well spray a bit of energy into this. Let's do it.
Exactly.
Do you know how many streams I saw coming off the last hour as well? Literally everyone was waiting for the announcement and just went straight live.
Literally, I had the tweet ready. I just pressed live and I was just like, come on, go on.
Do you know what the most jarring thing is? Yeah, Dammy wants the link still. Yeah, you know what the most jarring thing about this is, right? They put the fucking announcement out like 20 minutes before anybody noticed.
On the app.
I was on chelseafc.com at like 6:10 or something like that. And I saw 22 minutes ago, Thomas Tuchel joins Chelsea. Official announcement. It's like, what? We've been sat here waiting on Twitter for the longest, and these bastards announced it 15 minutes ago and nobody noticed.
Exactly. That's honestly it. Was it Jude Bellingham you thought we were linked with? Was it that name?
It might have been. Yeah, I think it was Jude Bellingham. But same way as well, I don't see that one happening. Guy's 18 years old, literally gone from Birmingham to Dortmund, and now he's going to make another move. Nah.
Exactly. Big man, Danny.
Yes,
Are you having a good day?
Yeah, before I start this stream, I know we're talking about Tuchel, we're talking about all of that. Laurenz, big up to you, man. Yeah, big up to you, man, because I just finished a 1 hour live stream on my ones. I don't know how you guys do that thing. It's hard, fam. I don't know how you waffle on the camera for an hour, fam.
You know why I don't do single live?
I was gasping for air. I was looking. I'm like, yo, obviously the chat, big up to the chat. All people that I told to come to this stream, big up to all of you as well that came in. I don't know if you got like a tiny injection or not. I know you might not doing numbers here, but like I said, big up to everybody in the chat. But hey, it's Tuchel's Tricky Tuesdays. Tuchel's Tricky Tuesdays.
Come on.
I'm in the club. You know what I mean? A lot of people are asking me why you gasped when your legend just left the club. I'm sad, fam. But I'm not going to come out here and be upset all over the shop moping. You know what I mean? When I was sad for long periods of time, my parents used to slap me up. Obviously, I'm joking. But obviously, like, my parents would be like, so you need to straighten your face up. You know what I'm saying? You need to straighten your face up. But yeah, like I said, big up people that are coming from the live that I just did as well, like I said. But once again, Tuchel's Tricky Tuesdays. Tuchel in the cup, fam. Have you seen his outfit? Have you seen man in the thing as well? Fam, man is gas, fam. Man looks perfect in blue. Do you know what I mean? He looks perfect in blue.
Have you seen the edits as well? I mean, I don't mind if they took so long because they were designing that, because that is crisp.
Cold, fam. Ice cold, fam. Colder than Martial, fam. Colder than the North Pole, fam. That's what the energy
anyone in the
of
comment
ice
section
cold.
that can replicate that, please DM me down on Twitter down below. Carefree Lewis G. Thank you very much.
Yeah, tweet me as well.
Yeah, like we'll all jump in on it. Fuck it.
Exactly. I do want to get back to that just before we got Dammy the link. Collins O saying Rudiger will benefit the most. I do want to just have a little say on this because obviously the whole rumors are he was in touch with Tuchel and Tuchel wanted him at PSG. The one thing I will say, what we don't know for sure is couldn't this just be, well, Tuchel knew he wasn't getting Christensen or Zuma from us, so he tried to tap up Rudiger. Maybe once he's here and he sees Christensen, he sees Zuma, he might actually prefer them. I guess we don't know that for sure, hence why I'm not running out here saying Rudiger will be one of the biggest benefits. I don't know what you guys think.
Let me not lie to you. I'm big up to manhandled in the chat. Obviously, I hope Chelsea reward me if we win, because if we don't win, I mean, the thing is, we can't rant, we can't shout. Obviously, new manager, new that. Like I keep telling people, Chelsea, Robin Hood FC, blood. You know what I'm saying? Steal from ourselves and give to the poor, blood. That's what Chelsea are. Give away FC. That's what Chelsea is right now. That's what we like to operate as. But hey, Rudiger, you rat nose. That's what you are, fam. You absolute poster, fam. You're shocking. Do you know what I'm saying? You are shocking, fam. I don't like that guy in any way, shape, or form. For me, all I'm praying for, I'm hoping, you know how with Willian, Arsenal fans got gassed. They saw him. He went to Arsenal and he showed them what he was made of. I actually hope Tuchel comes in, Rudiger plays a few games and he shows him what he's made of. Do you know what I'm saying? Once again, like I said on my live stream, if Rudiger comes into the shop and starts playing well, I can't say anything. And if he actually plays like a centre-back that deserves to start in a lineup, there's not really much you can do, is there? Do you know what I'm saying? With Thiago Silva. I don't see it happening. But if it happens, you have to give, like, because once again, we're trying to give the new energy, we're trying to give the fresh energy. Obviously, we can talk about all the nonsense that certain fans and groups in Chelsea are doing with all their negative energy with regards to this Tuchel appointment. But hey, I'm looking at the situation and I'm like, you know what? Let's actually just take things on the chin right now. Rudiger as it is, I feel like the lots of Zuma and Christensen possibly. Oh, ice cold, baby.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Also, did you mute your mic before you swore about Rudiger?
I did that. I do the thing by myself. I mute with my voice. Laurenz has asked me about this before, innit? I mute myself and
Damn it, it's magical. And he makes it sound like an editor as well.
Exactly, it's like
prepared, respect.
Thing, you know what I'm saying? I do see, you know what I mean? It's a thing, fam. That's how man does it. Those two-faced. That's what we're on, cuz, you know what I mean? But hey, once again, I'm hoping that Zuma and Christensen show their worth. But me seeing this whole Rudiger news all over the TL, it pisses me off, bro. I don't know about you guys, but it pisses me off massively. But hey, what can we say? I'm sure you might have already spoken about that, but bro, I'm not playing. But yeah, we're linked to the whole PSG side, you know what I mean? Obviously, we're linked to Mbappe now, we're linked to Neymar, we're linked to everybody under the sun. But hey,
I'll take it.
Marquinhos as well, we're all linked as well. But hey, it is what it is. I take it. I take it.
Exactly. Obviously, I was on here for a good while at the start by myself. Then Lewis jumped on. Now Dammy has jumped on. I don't really know. You're kind of hid behind that thing. I do kind of apologize about that.
Nice.
I don't know whether I prefer this or not. I don't really, to be honest. So I'm going to stick with that. Anyway, what I will say and what I will ask, Dammy, just obviously we know you're gassed about Tuchel, right? Well, I'm going to ask you this one question, and it might be a bit of a tricky one. But what are you most excited about now that Tuchel is here? And to the ladies and gentlemen out there watching, be sure to subscribe to myself, to Lewis. His @ is down in the description. I will Demi's @ down in the description after we've obviously been live. So check those two guys out. Smash the like button. And if you want to make sure that we see your chat message, because obviously we're talking 3 guys here. We can't look at the chat all the bloody time. So use the super chat function if you want to be sure of that. But of course, you do not have to. But Demi, tell me, what are you most excited about?
Also, like I said, let me just address something in the comments with regards to Rudiger's thing. Once again, I'm obviously I don't like the man personally. I'm not going to change that. That's never going to change, except he does some ridiculous turnaround or whatever. When it comes to slandering individuals, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I say people look like they're giraffes on skates or whatever have you. I say that they look like they're ballerinas and all of that. You can say all of that. I mean, I say stuff like that and I've never shied away from it because, hey, people call me B-Tech Thomas Party. People call me all sorts. So people call me that on a regular basis. So I think it's fair. Human beings can take that. But when it comes to racial abuse or asking for death threats, or you never catch any of us on that wave. None of us are on that wave. People are entitled to their opinions, okay? People call me certain things on a regular basis and I take them as jokes once again. And people see the funny side to some of those things. So when we're talking about mental health and all of that, because you like somebody, keep the energy across the whole board. You know what I'm saying? I saw people talking about mental health for Mason Mount, but when it came to Rudiger and them, man, their actions switched up. So let's keep that energy consistent. You understand? I've said things about Mason Mount, what as I like him. I've said all of those different things. So we need to respect this man. As snaky as Rudiger is, as snaky as he is, you need to still respect their human integrity. Do you understand? It's football. Do you know what I mean? No need to call them the N-word or any racism or any of those stupid things. It's irrelevant. It's uncalled for and it's immature. Do you understand? It's a sackable offense in any industry. But yeah, what's the most exciting thing I'm looking forward to? Yeah, can't lie to you. It's Tuchel ball. I'm going to see a nice press. You know what I mean? I'm going to finally see a nice press. I'm going to see an attacking dynamic side. Obviously, with the whole Lampard thing in the first half of the season, I'm hoping to see an improvement of what we saw at the start of Lampard's first season. That is what I'm trying to see. I'm actually trying to see some football that is entertaining and enjoyable. I saw some of his clips. I think Newman shared a clip earlier on from Tuchel, and I was talking about, for example, his pressing. Pressing to him is triangular, diagonal pressing is very important. You understand? My guy comes into the court and he wants his team to press very effectively. I know he's someone that has had this press for years, so implementing it is not going to be, I'm not saying he's going to implement it before the end of the season, but you're definitely going to see some hints from it from the very beginning. Maybe we might not, but we're going to see an actual attacking dynamic in this team. We're not just going to see the basic cross and inshallah thing that we saw for most parts of this season. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing him on the touchline, because the thing with Tuchel as well on the top, man literally left the court, fam. Man just left, like the man is leaving the court. I don't know what that.
Put myself at the bottom.
No, you just drag yourself down
thing and
like that.
I see. It's extremely magic that I've not known about.
Exactly. But yeah, once again, you know what I'm saying? So with me, the whole idea is fresh energy, something new, something exciting, something dynamic. Once again, don't mistake my energy for being happy Lampard got sacked. Don't do that. Do not do that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are saying that, and I don't really like that, because once again, I don't need to keep telling you, man, that I spent almost $1,000 on jerseys with Lampard's name on the back of that. A lot of people don't do that. Whenever I could go to games, a few games, a handful of games, I love Lampard.
How many Lampard jerseys do you have? You spent $1,000.
I have 8, fam. Great jerseys are almost £100, isn't it? Remember that?
Raw. Okay, fair play.
You know what I'm saying? Jerseys are not cheap. So I've got a lot of Lampard jerseys. Do you know what I'm saying? I've got a lot of them, and I rate them massively. So, but for me, I've always been a positivity merchant. I'm not a blind positivity merchant, but I've always been an energy merchant, positivity merchant, FC. Do you know what I'm saying? Roman secretary, funny type stuff. So this Lampard thing, I took the news yesterday. I took it this afternoon. Tuchel has been announced. Lampard is now in the past. He might be our future in 10 years. Who knows? But I don't know if I'm going to be on social media at that time. I'm going to be like, 28 from 30s from. I don't know what we're doing back then. We should be running multi-million-pound industries back in that time in the future. But hey, once again, I'm not really here to talk about Lampard right now. I'm here to talk about Tuchel. I'm excited. I'm gassed. Looking forward to what he's going to do. Even look at the stuff he does in training as well, with the diagonal pitches as well, so that they don't do too many stupid crosses. We're going to get a lot of vertical passes in between the lines. We're going to see, for example, Tuchel as well. Did you guys know that in order to prevent his players from dragging on people's shirts, his defenders, he puts tennis balls in their hands as well to prevent them from this? So we have a new dynamic, and we actually have a manager that is semi-pragmatic. We've gotten the sort of manager we want. We want a manager that can attack, and they're also relatively dynamic. With Sarri, we didn't have that. Sarri was very good going forward, okay? Attacking football. I saw Sarri ball at Napoli. Lovely football. It's exceptional football. Do you understand? I wanted to succeed, but he wasn't very dynamic. He wasn't willing to change too much. Lampard, he showed signs at the start, but as things went on, things just went down. Maybe we'll have a relationship with the players, but I'm not here to talk about any of that anymore. Rudiger, Dragging, I'm not really here to talk about any of those anymore. But moving forward, I am excited that Tuchel is here, because as much as I know it wasn't my first choice, Nagelsmann was my first choice. But Tuchel, I've seen him and he's in his bag. He might not last here for too long, you know what I mean? Because he's always clashing with different boards, left, right, and center. But we've actually got someone that can do something this year. And I'm gassed. If you're not gassed about that, out. Back your manager, fam. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and that's it. Like that's it. Back your manager. And I mean, I more so than Damian Lewis was to some extent too much finding excuses for Frank left, right, and centre. To some extent, that was in my head at times justified. To some extent, you know, sometimes you tell yourself things that are true just because you have a certain affection towards someone. Maybe that was true to some extent. You know, it's difficult to judge in hindsight, right? But at the end of the day, we needed to accept that things weren't working. And yes, you see Gerrard and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Roy Hodgson saying, oh, it was too soon that he was sacked and this and that. And this is all well and good. But I will also say this. The two winners, Mourinho and Guardiola, when they was asked, they were like, yeah, they feel bad for Frank. But it's the business. It's a success-driven business. And if the success ain't there, you're going to get sacked. And especially at Chelsea, that's even a harsher reality than probably at any other club. But that doesn't mean that, especially myself, I can't talk for the others, but I know it for them. We weren't sad by the fact that Frank Lampard didn't work out. The sack was, to me, sad as well. Didn't seem quite so sad to Lewis and Dami. But what they were 100% sad about is that it didn't work out better. Everyone would have loved it if we was just battering everybody left, right, and centre, winning Premier Leagues, winning Champions Leagues with Frank Lampard at the helm. There would have been nothing better for any Chelsea fan. But still, what we want as Chelsea fans is success and good football and enjoy ourselves and not dread the next time Chelsea play. And let's not kid ourselves, for the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, that's kind of what it's been. We was dreading the next game. And it shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be like that. It honestly shouldn't be like that. But I asked
for us as well.
Exactly. I asked Dami, Lewis, what is the one thing that you are most excited about? And maybe get the mic close to the ears because I can barely hear you.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Thing I'm most excited for, Timo Werner, to be honest. We're going to play. I know we're going to play in a system that is going to play to his strengths. And that means we're finally going to see the best out of Timo Werner. What was Timo Werner's best game? Up front in a 4-2-3-1 formation. He got 2 goals and 1 assist. He was playing up front. And that's what we need to see more of him. None of this left wing bollocks. Now that we're not playing Lampard ball, don't even need any of this right wing bollocks either. Play the guy up front, play him at his best, play a strong pressing system where we show high intensity, which is where he plays at his best, and watch everyone who's been cussing out Timo Werner for the last 6 months and Havertz. I hope you've been enjoying it. I didn't care what you lot was slandering over December while the rival fans are doing it. Do you want to know why? Because as soon as they get used to the Premier League, that's the only time they're ever going to get to slander them for the next 4 or 5 years without sounding like absolute mugs. So enjoy your time right now. As soon as he balls out, it's over for the league. When we said it was over for the Premier League when these signings gelled in, we weren't stuttering, we weren't lying. It's just it's taken longer than we expected. Now we've got a manager, we've got a serious, good, experienced manager who is flexible. Just you, man, wait. Just wait. We're collecting our receipts second half of the season. Don't you worry.
I beg no jinx this, but yeah, hopefully.
Touch wood. But see, that's the thing. Like, we have half of the season to go. Everything's there. Rival fans are crapping themselves because, you know, we're in a different situations, and that's kind of what we want to see. And obviously, Dami just made it overall Tuchel ball, whatever you want to call it. I'm gassed for that. Timo Werner. I hope it
tricky Tuesdays, fam. Tuchel's tricky Tuesdays. That's what Tuchel's tricky blues, boss. You get me? That's what man is here to do. Inspire the players, get everybody on gas playing Tuchel ball left, right, center. We're gonna batter them, man. You understand? Wolves tomorrow. You man, pack your bags. Nuno, pack your bags, fam. All of you take that next airline to Portugal. You understand? That next easy jet. You man go down to Luton Airport FC and you man take your flight because we're gonna batter you, man. You can't. Well, now, man, you know, I'm a hype merchant, you man. Allow me, don't drag me tomorrow. If
we need to hype a little bit. It was so depressing for so long. Go on, Luke. Go on.
I do want to say as well, you're saying Tuchel's tricky Tuesdays. You might want to change that a little bit for next week because we're facing Spurs on a Thursday. And there could be some real good material in that one.
You get me. But yeah, once again, you were already dragging me in the comments. I know I'm playing, fam. See what fam. I can't play, fam. I hate this app. I can't even play, fam. I already dragging me in the comments. They said joke man thing, fam. But yeah, obviously I'm gassed. That's the general thing. If you haven't clocked, I am gassed. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And
But,
hey,
yeah.
it's good to see because we was all depressed for too long now. And we just want to be hype. And yeah, of course we could jinx it and this and that could happen. But hey, if we
Do you
jinxed
remember
it,
us this time last week? We were literally about to watch us stink up the King Power Stadium for 90 minutes.
In it.
that's exactly what it was. And
See how
we
things
didn't-
change in a week. We're all gassed again. This is the Chelsea way. We're ruthless, but this is why we get results, even if it means we've got to switch managers quick time. But we know why we're doing it. So yeah, bring on the second half of the season. It's basically a new season. We move.
Exactly. That's what we're all looking forward to. And, you know, Dami said the Tuchel ball overall. Lewis said Werner. I part of what Demi said, I agree with. There's kind of like, I'm excited for the press. I'm excited for the triangles. I'm excited for the free-flowing football. I'm excited to attack down the bloody middle, which at least for PSG
I'm
was
also
his
excited
biggest part of
for
attacking.
pragmatism. Do you know what I mean? I'm excited to see, like, look at Brendan Rodgers. See what he did it with Leicester against Chelsea. Started the game as was it 4-3-3 they started with? I can't remember what they started with. Second half they swapped 4-2-3-1, but they swapped over to a 4-4-2 in the second half on the defensive thing. Too cool. A lot of people on my stream were asking, and I'm sure you got this here as well. A lot of people, the grand dam is Irish. No, mate, I'm not Irish. I don't do that. You know what I mean? And that was the worst Irish accent I could have come up with. But now I'm not.
Someone clip that, please.
You know what I mean? I'm not Irish. But a lot of people are asking me, "Oh, Dami, what's Tuchel's?
Oh my gosh!
What's his lineup?" I'm like, broski. I don't know what he don't. What happened? Obviously, Lewis.
You seen the match program for our next game?
All the gas has evaporated.
Can you send that to me as well? I need to.
You are not serious, man.
Send that to me, yeah. Send
All
that.
the gas has evaporated.
Send that to me, yeah.
So much for that good mood, you know.
Send that to me, please. Send that to me.
Yeah,
Send
one
that.
sec. I'm gonna send that
See,
over.
I'm gonna just pretend that didn't happen. I'm gonna just pretend that Rudiger
Let's get back
will only
to
play 2 games and then he's out. Exactly. But I will say, you know what I'm excited about? You know what I'm excited about? A bit of Kai Havertz floating. A bit of Kai Havertz floating around on that pitch, moving silky smooth, left, right, and centre, playing assists, scoring goals, chipping the ball over people, having flicks with the back heel, having flicks with his bloody, I don't know, back, I don't care. Flicks it left, right, and centre. I want to see the silk. And we know that Kai Havertz brings the silk. And I love a bit of silk. It's comfy in that. So that's what you want. It's what you want. And why shouldn't we be excited? You know, I asked this question already, but why shouldn't we be excited? Let us be excited. You know, even if things go to shit, I was at least happy today. You know, you have to count the days that you're happy on. You know, you have to make use of them. Do you know what I mean? So that is, I guess, that we've been going for nearly 1.5 hours. So I think I'm gonna just put it to you guys. If you have any couple more things to say, first I'm gonna go with Lewis and then finish it off with Dami. And to you, chat, to you people in the chat, if you have anything else to add that you want to make sure that we do cover, quickly do use the super chat function so we get that in there. You don't have to be a lot. Like, you give it £1, give it £2, whatever currency you're using. Just like to make sure that I actually see the chat message, right? But Lewis, do you have anything to say? What are your how about score predictions? I think you have to say, and your score prediction for tomorrow's game.
3-0 Chelsea. Timo Werner double. Kai Havertz brace of assists. Olivier Giroud in the final few minutes coming off the bench. And yeah, glorious Chelsea back again. We move. See.
Dami, what you saying? Score prediction. A couple of more things you want to add?
Tuchel's tricky blues in boss, man. You hear me? That's what we're seeing tomorrow, fam. Tuchel's tricky blues. Let it ring, fam. I don't think it goes as well. I mean, TTB in it. Tuchel's tricky blues. Hashtag Tuchel's tricky blues, fam. That's my hashtag. You get me? I know man them like making hashtags on the internet, doing all their red tete. Man has come with his own, and now I've stolen it from somewhere. I don't know where I stole that from. I wonder. But at the end of the day, tomorrow, once again, my thing, what I want to say to people is, I want us to all go with an open mind. Okay, go with an open mind, except you see Alonso. If you see Alonso, you can reach. But go with an open mind. Do you know what I'm saying? Go with an open mind. Whatever you see on the pitch, thing is, you might see Jorginho, you might see Christensen, you might see Rudiger, you might see Emerson, you might see things you do not like. Okay, you might see things you don't like. But go in with an open mind. Allow stuff to actually flow off properly first, and then come to conclude. Well, how am I Irish, fam? I've not heard this Irish thing before. Do you know this is the first time?
I won't lie.
This is my first. Lewis, that's not Irish.
No.
Now you mention it, I can hear like 10% of an Irish accent.
Nah, man is on something from, you know what I mean?
If you told me you were Irish, I'd believe you. Like,
Raw. No. Broski, I'm not Irish. You understand? Man is a mixture of African and ends and Birmingham and everything and up north and Yorkshire and everything. I'm a mixture of Scots. I have all the accents.
I didn't have you down as a Brummie.
Yeah, but you will hear it because I sort of lived there, but I never really stayed in the area. Birmingham.
Imagine Dammy in Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blind. Oh, you know, off he days.
Can you just get yourself one of these hats, please? Can you just get one of them hats, please?
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But all of the Peaky Blinders. Oh my God. But that's a bad impression. Sorry for all the people that are from Birmingham.
I'm still rating you muting the mic.
Now I'm saying, but listen. For me tomorrow, I'm not going to go with an open mind. That's what I'm telling people today. Go with an open mind. First game, first actual game, first 11. He's still going to sort of experiment. He's a smart man, an extremely smart man. Give him a chance. Give him a few games because it's crunch time and he needs to experiment as much as he can before he gets into crunch time. Crunch time is on the 20th of February, fam. That's peak period. So give it some time in it. So take your time with it. You get me? But yeah, tomorrow, scoreline prediction, I'm going to go 3-0 Chelsea.
All right. Well, that's very good. I do strongly agree with that Dammy just said. We might see some things that we are confused by, that we don't like. I am very convinced that we're going to see Rudiger start after this, which I won't be happy with, which is also why my scoreline will be 3-1 because we're really going to team. We're not keeping a clean sheet, I reckon. So, that's why I'm saying it's 3-1. But hey, 3-1, maybe let's make it 4-1. I'm going to stick to the 3-goal difference, but I'm going to just say 4-1. Why not? Let's just get a bit of battering into Wolves. And, because this kind of has replaced the preview, I guess we have to say Wolves haven't won a game since they played against us. And they also haven't won a game for a while before they played against us. So let's change that. Let's change Wolves only getting 3 points against us because I've had kind of enough. But all I really want to see is some pressure lifted off the players' shoulders. Whoever plays, I want to see some expression out there, and not the way that Frank apparently told the players, no tactical instructions. We have to be realistic. Thomas Tuchel took one training session. We can't exactly see prime PSG and prime Tuchel Dortmund tomorrow already. It will take a little bit of time. And it will take a bit of time longer than if he had a preseason because he's taken over mid-season and he has a game every 3 days. So there's not that much training going on anyway. But I am excited for it. I hope to see some free-flowing football. I hope to see some goals. I hope to see some just positivity because as much as there's negativity and divide between the fans, let's just get better. Let's just build some momentum. Let's build some momentum before getting into this incredibly tough run and then somehow just get past Atletico. If a third division team in the Spanish Cup can beat them, why shouldn't we beat them? Even if they only conceded like 7 goals in the league. Hey, they lost in the Cup. The Champions League is a cup competition, so, I'm going to make it happen. So why not? My score prediction, like I said, is a 4-1. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to leave it here. We're going for a long time. Why not? Yusuf saying he's late as, I'm very happy to, to watch the thing back. And if you want to make up for it, you can use the super chat function. No, I'm taking a piss now. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I really do appreciate all of you guys that have tuned in. There's still 396 if you're watching, which is sick. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. That'd be absolutely incredible. We're still on that grind to 10K. The more of you that subscribe, the quicker we get there. So, just make it happen. Just make it happen. I have some lovely guests lined up over the next few days. We have got Simon Phillips coming on Saturday. We've got Alex Goldberg coming on Monday. We should be having Nini on at some point in the near future as well. I'm trying to get Eunice involved, but maybe certain allegiances aren't letting that happen for whatever reason. I thought we'd all, grown up.
Is it?
I don't know. Man's being aired, and I don't know why, even on the WhatsApp. But you have to do what you have to do, I guess. And George Benson, we do follow each other, but I don't know, hasn't replied yet. So we'll see. If you want to make that happen, ladies and gentlemen, just tweet them. Just tweet them if you want to have the collabs happen. Tweet them and tell them to get in touch with me. But yeah, Dammy has seemingly gone. Lewis, thank you for joining me. Dammy is back. Subscribe to Lewis. His ad is already in the description, so subscribe to him now. Dammy, just type in the Grand Dam into YouTube. And if you're watching this later on, go into the at in the description and check that out. Subscribe to both of them, guys. They're both brilliant. Thank you for coming on. Thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. As Dammy would say, Tuchel's Tricky Blues. And
Tuchel's Tricky Blues. In a bit, people.
We'll see you next time.
AC Hive, let's move.